Paint, the final frontier. This is the journey of the typical gearhead. The continuing mission? To explore new tools and new techniques. To seek out new ways to lay down the perfect spray. To push yourself and boldly go where you've never gone before. That's right, paint. That's the one area of building a vehicle that most people don't want to mess with. Now, part of the reason is because there's a lot you got to be up on. Primers and sealers and clear coats and base coats and flash times and that kind of stuff. And there's also all the tools and equipment that you need to do it right. And then, of course, there's a lot of people that just don't want to mess with it because they're afraid they're going to screw it up. Well, fortunately, that's what this show is all about, to show you what's involved in these processes so you can paint your own vehicle if you want to. Now, obviously, the tools and materials are important, but so is where you paint your vehicle. So today we're going to look at paint booths, what to look for in one, and why you need one. UniCure has been building some of the most user-friendly and advanced paint booths for a long time. And the reason for their success? They understand what a painter needs.
Basically, three things on a spray booth always is good lights, good airflow, and a dependable air makeup system that's easy to work on, easy to get parts for.
We look at the customer's needs, how many cars a day they're wanting to get out. What are they trying to accomplish? Because you can definitely oversell. You can give a guy so much stuff that he's overwhelmed because there's a lot of product, there's a lot of different features and benefits. So what are they really going to use day in and day out? We want to make sure to get to know our customer.
Each painter's a bit individual. They're artists. They like things to work their way. We give them that availability with our control panels.
Now, since all painters and shops and budgets are different, it's important to dial in the system that you're going to need. Because contrary to what some people may think, bigger is not better, and one size does not fit all. So some time and some thought and some planning needs to go in to setting up the booth the way that you're going to need it.
When I started in the industry early, 24 foot was the length, 14 foot has almost always been the width, and 8 or 9 feet tall is the height. Because of the new stretch cab dualies and all the larger animals that are out there now, 26 feet in length is perfect, and 14 in width is just right, and 9 foot inside is about the standard in the industry. And we can make them longer, taller, wider. We've built from everybody from Boeing aircraft to Gibson guitar.
Easy access to the booth is important so you can roll vehicles in and out with no problem. Ceiling height is also an issue, especially if you're planning on doing some big vehicles, because you gotta have access to the roof.
One of the things we've discussed and got on the drawing boards is something now for these Sprinter vans that are hitting the market. We have a lot of demand for people that are needing a booth that's taller in size to be able to get these vans in and work on them.
Having plenty of recessed lighting is also extremely important, not only so you can see what you're doing, but also so you're not tripping over work lights and power cords when you're trying to paint. And down that same line, it's important to have reels to control your hoses, as well as a clean filtered air supply and outlets for several guns and places to store them.
We listen to our customer, we stay in close contact with the industry to know what's going on out there and what we need to be preparing for our customers.
Now, so far, this is pretty straightforward. This is what most people think a paint booth is capable of. And you can duplicate a lot of this stuff in your garage. But what if you want to bake the paint job when it's done? What if you want to shoot something different like lacquer or Emeron or waterborne paint? What if you want to control the temperature in the booth? What if you want to monitor dry times between coats? What about all the government regulations that everybody's talking about? Who keeps you legal? UniCure.
Okay, so guys, we got this floor plan here. and they're going to do that third prep, the one that's on the far left.
You definitely follow trends in the industry, follow the automotive manufacturers, how are they doing things today. Paint companies, work closely with them, because at the end of the day, we're going to provide the tool, but they're going to provide the product that actually gets laid down.
Yeah, we designed a lot. We looked at some different options. We have 2 or 3 options, but we finally settled on our control panel, which controls the air that's already there and already coming in, so we don't have to add anything to our booth to be able to dry water.
We take that air, we bring it in from outside. It's going to come over a direct fired burner, which means that flame is directly touching the air that gets the most efficient performance. We deliver that air through a split ductwork system. Gives us even temperature distribution from front to back, top to bottom. So we're really key on making sure that your air, whether you're in the front of the booth or the back of the booth, and your temperature, whether you're left or right, is all going to be consistent.
We use a variable frequency drive on the exhaust, which is like a big rheostat. And what it does is it allows you to dial in the booth and perfectly balance through all phases of filter conditions. By having a frequency drive on the exhaust, you can balance the booth to exactly the amount of air that needs to be put through the booth at a certain time. Although I've seen waterborne be the trend here lately, I'm also seeing the isocyanates have changed in some of the paints, and a lot of people are electing not to go waterborne. And so it's just kind of up to the industry standards and how they change and what goes on.
So the question is, do you really need a paint booth? Well, it is possible to lay down a really nice paint job in your garage. Heck, I painted a national show winner in a driveway years ago. But if you're going to paint more than one car in your lifetime, and you want your lifetime to last for a long time, you probably need to look into a paint booth. And not just any paint booth, but one that's going to stay on the cutting edge no matter where it goes.
Our mission statement is to improve our customers' quality, productivity, and profits year after year. We want this to be a lifelong opportunity, a lifelong journey.
I want my customers 10 years from now, if they have a problem, to be able to go to a Grainger and select some parts and get what they need. I also think teaching your customer how the booth works and how it operates and how it functions is so important. They need to have an understanding of exactly why we do what we do. Build them strong and simple and take care of the customer.